Hey guys, Michael here from michaelsherlock.com. I want to talk to you today about Amazon's new Kindle lineup. Now they went ahead and refreshed just their ebook readers. That's not really going to be the focus of this video, although those are pretty interesting in itself. Really what I want to talk about is the new Kindle Fire and the Kindle Fire HD. So first of all, let's talk about the new Kindle Fire, the second gen Kindle Fire. It's the same form factor, same 7-inch display, all that business. It has a newer processor at 1.2 gigahertz, which Amazon says will increase performance by 40%. Has a bigger battery, a gig of RAM. It will cost $159, so it's a little bit less expensive and is less expensive than the Nexus 7 that it'll be competing with, and it'll ship September 14th. Really, the biggest news of the day was the two other Kindles that were released in the new product brand, the Kindle Fire HD. There's an 8.9-inch model and a 7-inch model that I'll get to in a second. So that 8.9-inch model has a 1920 by 1200 pixel display, which is 254 ppi. Has a TI OMAP 4470 processor, which I believe is 1.5 gigahertz dual core. Some interesting features that it has dual speakers, which they touted as being very important compared to, say, the iPad, which doesn't have dual speakers and audio performance isn't that great. It has an HD front-facing camera, HDMI out, and MIMO Wi-Fi on the 2.4 gigahertz band as well as the 5 gigahertz band. Basically, that means there are two antennas in there, and they really tried to bash the iPad in a lot of ways, and they say that Wi-Fi performance will be significantly better thanks to this MIMO Wi-Fi technology, which they say is the first in a tablet. Again, MIMO meaning it has two antennas and therefore better performance. In terms of price, for 16 gigabytes of Wi-Fi only, that'll be $299. That'll ship November 20th. The Wi-Fi only model will also come in a 32 gigabyte model for $369, I believe. There's also a model for $499 that also comes with 32 gigabytes of storage, but it also has 4G LTE for AT&T. Now, what's really interesting, you say $299, $369, $499. That's kind of a big jump for LTE. First of all, compared to the $130 premium that you pay on the iPad for LTE, it's not really that big of a deal. Plus, Amazon actually has a really amazing data package for you. So for $50 a year, you get 250 megabytes of data per month, 20 gigabytes of cloud storage from Amazon, and a $10 App Store credit. Again, that's only $50 a year. That's a significant savings over the data plans that you'll find on pretty much any other tablet. So I found that really, really cool. They also briefly talked about the Kindle Fire HD in a 7-inch flavor. That'll basically have very similar specs. It'll be Wi-Fi only and it'll launch September 14th. And that'll run for $199, and again, a 7-inch display instead of an 8-inch. And that 7-inch display will have a 1280 by 800 pixel display. Really, I think this is very, very good for the market in general. First of all, it takes Android and it kind of puts a skin on top of it that makes it much more user-friendly and much more optimized for tablets. It also has the specs to boot, especially the Kindle Fire HD in particular. Amazon really wanted to compare that $499 32GB 4G LTE tablet to the iPad. It's much more expensive on the iPad for very similar specs. Again, the resolution isn't as good, it's a little bit smaller, but it's still 254 ppi, so that's still pretty high. It has features that the iPad doesn't have, such as dual speakers, HDMI out, enhanced Wi-Fi capabilities, and this data plan that you'll not be able to get on any other, tablet, which is a significant savings. Really, Amazon really pushed the bar forward. The Kindle Fire in the last couple months really couldn't compete with the Nexus 7, but now the new Kindle Fire, in particular the Kindle Fire HD, are some of the most competitive tablets on the market. The Kindle Fire was the second in terms of sales, was the second highest sales in terms of tablets in the last year, only second to the iPad. With the Kindle Fire HD in particular, I expect Amazon will go above and beyond and will continue to explode, because it's not just that vanilla Android experience that has been kind of clunky and Google is still working on optimizing for tablets. It has that overlay, particularly if you buy your content from Amazon. Your movies, your books, your TV shows, everything will be right there for you, and it's very easy to find and it's very intuitive. The new Kindle Fire lineup looks really, really good. And quickly, I just wanted to gloss over some cool little software things that I found. X-ray for textbooks and movies. That means, let's say you're reading a textbook, overlays with definitions thanks to this X-ray feature, which is really cool. Sometimes you get confused. Instead of having to jump back pages to figure it out, you can just have X-ray and figure out what that is. Same thing with movies. You pause a movie, X-ray will launch, and you'll have just overlaid actors' names, bios, stuff like that. It's very, very cool. Another cool feature is WhisperSync. What WhisperSync used to do is it would synchronize what page you're on in your book. So if you were reading on your computer, your phone, your tablet, whatever, it was all in the same place. That works for audiobooks now. So if you start an audiobook on your Kindle and then you want to continue it somewhere else, it'll synchronize. Or if you have the audiobook and the textbook, it should be able to work both ways. So when you get to page 30 in the book, now you start listening to the audiobook, it'll pick up right where you left off, which is pretty cool. Same thing with podcasts. Similarly, game progress is now going to be stored in the cloud, so it's just really good, especially if that can work with different devices. I can see where the future would be when maybe they have a phone. The game, your Angry Birds saves will be the same on all your platforms. So that's pretty cool. So really the big announcement today is the Kindle Fire HD, which I think is very, very competitive. It's going to drive prices down and features up in the tablet market, and is definitely going to be very competitive, especially because this year's iPad has really already been announced. The 3rd generation iPad came out a couple months ago, and now going into the holiday season, Amazon is going to have a leg up on that. Now we don't know if Apple eventually is going to announce an iPad mini or whatever. That's not for this video. Overall, though, I'm very excited for the Kindle Fire HD. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice day.